let me talk first of all. These two cards came out very, very strongly. So Capricorns, the magician. The magician is somebody that is has a lot of skills, has a lot of talent, and has a lot of I want to say like ideas that's constantly brewing in their heads. Okay. And I feel like for this month, this is you. This is you operating at your very best, where you look at a problem and you're like, wait a minute, there's an easier way to do this. Wait a minute, there's a better way to fix this. Looking at a problem and strategizing, trying to figure out some type of a solution. I do feel as well, you have a wealth of knowledge. You have a lot of abundance when it comes to problem solving. Um, you know, like I'm sensing that many of you, your mind is really structured. You retain information really well. Okay. And I also feel that some of you have a genius streak about you, especially if you're kind of like on the tail end of Capricorn moving into Aquarius, like cusp, people on the cusp. I feel like you have a streak of genius about you where you have really good spatial orientation. You look at something and you know how all the pieces fit together. Okay. So that might be especially for the people born in the later decans of Capricorn. But I also feel overall your ability to persuade people, if you're born, near the cusp of Sagittarius or near closer to the Sagittarius border, you have very, very high leadership capabilities. You're very fearless. You're able to take risks. You're able to analyze situations and change your behavior to act accordingly. So you have really, really good practical as well as theoretical skills that you're bringing to the table. Don't ever question that. Okay. I do feel some of you, one of the reasons why you're not able to operate on this positive traits and bring all the positive things that you have to the table is there's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of fear of, am I right? Am I wrong? How are people going to look at me? Do I want to be like, the teacher's pet? Do I want to be the show off? Do I want to stand out from the crowd and be shot down? So I feel like, there's this element here about wanting to conform, wanting to be average, wanting to fit in with the crowd, not wanting to really break out and do something new and be in the spotlight and, grab more for yourself. So I do sense that element about you. And on the other hand, you are somebody that, you're a sign that works really hard. And I feel like when people give you work, you do it to the best of your capabilities. And you want that to be it. And so reaching, extending, just that, going that extra step to really stand out, to prove yourself to be a leader, it's challenging for you. Okay, so it feels like it dismantles everything else that you believe in. And so they say that, Capricorns are the social climbers, but I feel like in many ways you are very conformist. Like majority of you, I feel like you do things by the book. You don't want to rock the boat, and it makes you uncomfortable to stand out too much. You like the recognition and the accolades that comes with it. But if you have to put yourself out there too much, it makes you a little bit nervous. So there's a sense here about, am I good enough? Am I able to do the job? There's a lot of self-doubt coming into the energy for the month of July. And I just want you to keep in mind, you have a lot of skills, capabilities, leadership qualities. It's the leadership qualities. It's, I feel like, Leos lead, right? But they do it in a way where it can rub people the wrong way. I feel like you have a quiet demeanor about you where you lead not because you want power, not because you want fame, not because you want that spotlight, but you lead because you have the skills and the capability to lead people correctly. Okay. And so you lead, but you also solicit advice. You also take other people's, input into account. So I feel like you're still a team player. And so this energy coming through, I feel that it's like, it seems to me like, you're holding yourself back a lot based on self-doubt, based on fear, based on, am I going to be able to succeed? So there's a lot of fear that prevents you from trying new things. Okay. Um, what I'm also feeling overall with this spread here is I feel that you're dealing with somebody that has this personality. And this personality is somebody who is a talker, but not a doer. Okay. It's somebody that is like really good at convincing other people to do things for them. So in a way, they can come off very charming, very likable. But I feel like deep down, there's a little bit of a lazy streak about them. They know how to talk a big game and they get everybody to, bring me this, bring me that, and also, do this, do that. I'm right behind you. I'm doing it too, but they're not. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's quite charming, who's quite good at, convincing other people to believe a specific thing. And so you might be dealing with this person as a romantic partner. You might be dealing with this person, and I'm feeling like work, okay, at work, like a coworker or somebody that you interact with heavily on a regular basis. And they're charming. They're charming. You can't resist them. Like you bring a lot of yourself to give to them, right? And so they're pretty much telling you, you need to learn to hold back a little bit because this person is charming, but they have a little bit of a lazy streak. When push comes to shove, they're not going to hold up their end of the bargain. Okay. So I feel like knowing where we place like trust and faith in other people, that's going to be very, very important for you. Okay. So that's what I'm sensing here. And so it's really important for you to safeguard your ideas, safeguard your projects. Make sure that, everything is kind of like, make sure you keep everything contained, okay, with people that you trust. Make sure that you don't share too much of yourself because other people are kind of like picking off all of these things that you have, and then you might end up with very little. So I feel like that's really important, okay? There's an element here, and I feel like this is, it's karmic. I'm sensing that many of you, both of these cards indicate going back to school. They indicate, heavily, you have a lot of skills, but I feel like your ability to express, your ability to verbalize what you know is kind of hinder or it's severely limited because of lack of schooling. So for example, if you want to know something in depth, if you want to know, how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, I feel that there's a major encouragement here about going to school, going back to school, pursuing higher education so that the way that you speak and the things that you know are kind of like matching up, okay? Rather than like over inflating what we know or downplaying what we know, mainly because we feel like, oh, people are not going to trust us because we don't have the proper credentials. We don't have the proper certificate. We didn't finish a specific class, for example. So I feel like there's a big element here about, going back to school, finishing up your coursework and, getting the proper credential under your belt so that you have the credibility under your belt. I'm also sensing some of you are just like, you might not feel like your heart's in it anymore, but I feel that it's going to be good for you. So, don't give up on that yet. Okay. Fight another day, keep at it. It's going to pay off. Okay. So I do feel that element here about, needing to round out your knowledge, round out your basic knowledge and your theoretical knowledge, your practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. So I feel like those things are really important for you to consider and for you to really think about, because I feel like it's really going to help your income. It's really going to help you professionally to have the credibility that you need and to also network and to, have the proper skills. And I feel that especially leadership capabilities, it comes with, being able to explain things really well, very thoroughly, and to kind of like demand that attention from other people, okay, in order for them to have their eyes glued on you and for you to be able to express yourself thoroughly. Another thing that I am feeling here is I feel like this spread is incredibly relationship oriented. And one of the things that I'm sensing here, we have this figure. And let me talk about this first. I feel almost as if like a lot of you are really fearful, and especially, like if you have come from an environment, home environment that is very repressive for whatever reason, where, there might have been like traditional gender roles. So culturally, there might be gender roles that dictates, okay, girls are supposed to do this, men are supposed to do this, women are supposed to do this, boys are supposed to do this. And family members have to treat each other in a very specific way. So if there have been situations, social norms, structure where you feel like very repressed, where you feel like you couldn't really express yourself emotionally, I'm sensing some of you are having to deal with this as it relates to, how you're able to show yourself, express yourself, and be more emotionally available to your partner. Okay. So I feel like there's an element here about, having to suppress your emotional needs and wants for a really, really long time. And then now that you're an adult and you have to express yourself because your partner wants that from you, it's really hard. And so if that's the problem that you're dealing with now, I do feel honestly journaling might be good for you. Um, Writing to the other person, if you, for whatever reason, feel uncomfortable being able to, communicate with them face to face, expressing in a way. So this is all about, finding a different way to do something this month, finding an alternative, finding a more creative path. Okay. Breaking out of our norms and doing things in a different manner. So if you have trouble communicating verbally face to face, find a different way, write them a letter, write them a text, write them an email, whatever it is to express yourself. Because I feel like somebody is demanding more. It's almost like I'm seeing them telling you like, you act like you don't care. You act ambivalent. You act so indifferent. And so it creates a mirroring effect. I'm sensing, like one person acts almost like, oh, I don't really care. Or acts very standoffish and very aloof. And then the other person feels feels like, oh, this relationship is coming to an end. And then they start to distance themselves. And then you're just like, oh, they're distancing themselves from me. So I guess they don't like me anymore. So I feel like this major mirroring effect, and it doesn't have to happen this way. It just basically means you need to open yourself up more. You need to express yourself. You need to really express your emotional needs. You need to learn to express yourself. It's not about this, talking about the weather, talking about, oh, you should know I like you, based on all the things that I do. It's not about those practical, tangible, physical things. It's more about those, deep rooted emotional connection, because I feel like if you don't do this in your relationship, something is going to come to an end soon. Okay. And if your partner feels very isolated, and if your partner in particular is a fire sign, so Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, if they're a fire sign, I feel like they feel that they're not getting their emotional needs met, and they might just bounce. Okay. So they might just remove themselves from the equation. So it's almost like, the partner doesn't really know which way to go here. And so doing things, showing them through verbal communication, through gestures, of kindness, whatever it is, just do it. Okay. Because I feel like something is in danger of crumbling down, and you have the capabilities to fix it right now. Like, it's not too late, but don't wait until the very end. Okay. So that's for those in relationships. I feel like there's some fixing that needs to happen. And then on the other hand, if you're the one that, you're the one putting in a lot of the work, and your partner is indifferent, you need to do some damage control by telling them what you need. So expressing yourself, your needs, your wants, what needs to happen in order for you to be happy as a couple. That's going to be really important as well. So I feel like this spread is very relationship oriented. Okay. But, one last thing that I want to talk about here, and let me talk about these two cards. So, This is not going to apply to everybody, but I feel like it's coming out strongly. First of all, Capricorns, you need to take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself first. You're not supposed to be anybody's like stepping stone. You're not supposed to be anybody's kind of like safety net, okay? So that means it's like you have this that you're barely able to maintain, okay? This is job, this is security, this is financial situation. Things are going to be on the upswing for you guys, mainly because I feel like you're moving in the right direction. But you need to treasure this and you need to learn to prioritize it, okay? Whatever this means to you. And I feel for many of you, it's like starting out, learning new things and getting your life in order, getting your financial situation in order. And you're working at that. And so there are other people that are depending on you for things. And if you are constantly in a state where, you have to extend your hands out to reach out to them and help them, you're going to drop the ball in your own life. So turn your back from unhealthy situations, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy people that demand so much of you and they take away your energy and they can't really give back. Okay. That's going to be very crucial as you navigate the next phase, which is, trying to better yourself, trying to improve your financial situation, trying to figure out practical ways and like, a career path or even whatever you can do that really stirs your passion so that you can achieve that financial stability that you're looking for. So you're going to need to, turn your back on some things, just kind of like turn a blind eye, draw back your energy. Don't waste your energy on dead ends and don't waste your energy on situations that are completely outside of your control. Okay.